President Trump met today with Colombian President Gustavo Petro during an Oval Office meeting to discuss the country's trade relationship and efforts to combat drug trafficking. Both Petro and Trump have made heated comments about the other over the last few months, with Trump threatening and calling Colombia's president a, quote, sick man, and Petro saying Trump is a, quote, accomplice to genocide. I want to bring in senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang. Weijia, the meeting wrapped just about an hour ago. What do we know?
Well, the press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, said that when she was talking to reporters less than 1 hour ago here, that the meeting between these two leaders was still wrapping up. So she did not get a readout yet. Obviously, she was not in this private meeting either, but she said the president himself would provide a summary on social media, which he has not done yet. But certainly there was a lot of tension surrounding this meeting leading up to it, because, as you mentioned, these two have exchanged some pretty fierce insults toward one another, even threats. But they did have a phone call after things appeared to escalate during one incident in which the president was asked would he take military action in Colombia, and he said, sounds good to me. And so after that, they spoke for an hour, and the president indicated that things were smoothed over. Obviously, it led to this meeting here. But the main focus, Lindsay, of this is to talk about drugs, and the drugs that President Trump says continue to flow into the U.S., not only from Colombia, but from Latin American countries. And so that is expected to be the main topic that they engaged on, although, again, we don't have a readout yet of exactly what happened.
Turning stateside, President Trump said during an interview that Republicans should nationalize voting. Of course, you and I know the Constitution sets voting regulation primarily to the states. So what is this about?
So I asked Caroline Leavitt directly about that. What did the president mean when he said that, and what would it look like in practice? And she said that the president was simply referring to the SAVE Act, which is a federal bill up on Capitol Hill. It stands for the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, which would put harsher restrictions and requirements on who gets to vote. It would require proof of birth, as an example, or a passport, something other than just a driver's license. So Democrats have really pushed back on this because, they believe it would restrict voting, make it a lot difficult for many voters. But I asked Caroline to clarify whether the president still believes that it is the states that should oversee elections. And she said that President Trump believes in the Constitution, but he is also extremely frustrated with widespread voter fraud, and that is why he wants all states to adopt this act and make it law.
Okay, Weijia Jiang, thank you.